NTE players are already doom posting the gacha. Neverness to Everness Containment Test Preview Special Livestream Summary. Oh my god, that is a mouthful. Just like Papa Flaccid Stix is. NT players are already doom posting. Is that on the official Neverness subreddit? It is. Okay. And then the Containment Test Preview Special Livestream Summary. Is that also there? That is. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Let me preface this entire thing by stating that to me, and I covered this at the end of the official live stream I did just last night where we watched everything, the big reveal. I do want to preface this by stating that I think Neverness to Everness's gacha is concerning. It is very, very concerning. The reason I feel like it's concerning is because it's genuinely really, really good. This, I think, could even be a game changer for gacha. And Neverness isn't the only gacha game that is doing this. Now, you might hate the graphical style, you might hate the character models, you might hate the combat, you might hate the story, the theme of it, the urban theme. It's all fine. The gacha is one thing you cannot dislike. And the reason it's concerning is because, I mean, it's going to show other gacha games, currently existing gacha games that are much more predatory, that, hey, you could be more friendly. And again, they're not the only ones doing this. Arknight's Enfield is doing this too. And let me elaborate a little bit. So in Neverness to Everness and in Arknight's Enfield, you have a guarantee, right? So in Genshin, in Zenless, in Wuwa, you have a guarantee as well. But the guarantee is always after the 50-50. So you hit 80 in Wuwa, 90 in Genshin, and then you roll that 50-50 dice, right? You fail your 50-50, oh, shit, okay. Let me go ahead and get to 80 or 90 again, and then after that, you hit your guarantee because you're guaranteed by 160 or 180 to get your limited character. NTE, in Enfield, you have a guarantee without 50-50. In Neverness here, they stated that by 90, you will hit a guarantee, which means that you will obtain the guaranteed or the limited banner character with a 100% guarantee at or by 90 pulls, which means you'll never run into an issue where you cannot physically obtain the character. The same thing is happening in Arknight's Enfield. You have a guarantee, I believe, now it's been a few months, so I might be wrong here, but I believe the guarantee was at 120, which is still a very good number because I would much rather obtain a character with a guarantee at 120 rather than having to go all the way to 140 or 160. I believe though, in Arknight's Enfield, there was a 50-50 either at like 70 or 90, or there was one after your guarantee, because once you obtain the character with a guarantee in Enfield, there is a 50-50 in place that makes acquiring dupes more difficult because there is no guarantee after that, so you could fail the next 7 50-50s in a row. I said that was kind of un-free-to-play friendly and kind of unfriendly to whales as well, because you could invest a significant amount of money into the game and still never get a second dupe. But at the same time, for free players that don't ever want to dupe, this is much easier for players to obtain and much more friendly for them. And in Neverness here, that is very much the same way. Now, we don't know what happens after the 90. After the 90, are you guaranteed the character, limited banner character, after another 90? So you can get 2 in 180? Because that would be fucking insane and incredible. Or does it, much like in Arknight's Enfield, does it disappear after that 90? And then there's a 50-50 imposed, which then prevents you from ever really obtaining a dupe. Like, I think the gacha here has the potential to be a significant game changer, much like Enfield, but at the same time, I don't think we have necessarily enough right now where we can really gauge the extent of how good or bad this is. I think the guarantee at a reduced number like 80, 90, 120, and then the removal of pity is definitely going to very likely here be the next generation of gacha. I think Neverness, I think Arknight's Enfield are going to be two of the pioneers of this specific business model. But let's get into why they're doom posting and then the preview summary with all the information that we want to know. But then also, real quick, just going back to the doom posting of the gacha here, or the friendliness overall, you have to wonder if they are going to actually guarantee repeated 90s, right? So you get it at 90 pulls, again at the next 90, again at the next 90. That's not going to make them a whole lot of money. So then where are they going to make up the difference, right? Are they going to instead make it really difficult for you to acquire currency in game, so you have to spend money? They also pointed out there are no weapon banners in theory, or at the very least that's what I've been told. There are no weapon banners in game. This could also very strongly impact how much money they're gonna make. Not giving up many free pulls. That's definitely possible, yeah. I'm just not sure how they're necessarily going to really make much return on their investment. And that's my concern here. Or that's one concern here. But I think the gacha overall is really good. And then, oh, wait, no. Another thing, and I think this is also very important. So in games like Wuthering Waves, okay? If you don't hit your pity, so let's say your pity is at like 80, right? And you make it to 77 pulls, right? At 80 pulls, you're guaranteed your character. So even if the banner character changes, a limited banner changes, you're also guaranteed if you failed your previous pity, right? But there's a carryover, typically, in a lot of different gacha games. In NTE, a way to maybe bolster the amount of spending present, they might remove that. So if you, as an example, the pity is 90, or the guarantee's at 90, and you make it to 87 pulls, right? But you don't have enough to get the last 3 pulls to guarantee it at 90, and then the banner ends, a new banner starts. Does that guarantee reset down to 0, or are you still at 87 out of 90? Because I think that is going to very strongly impact whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, because that is another thing that was not addressed or discussed. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. Let's take a look at the doom posting. What do you think the catch is now that we've seen how the gacha system works? We've got some info about the gacha system, and honestly, it does seem too good to be true. Overall, 1.88% chance per pull for the first 70 pulls, never off banner, so there's no 50-50. Increased probability after 70 pulls, guaranteed at 90 pulls, no weapon banners whatsoever. See, that there looks incredible. It genuinely does. That there looks like it could compete with a lot of gacha games in terms of free-to-play friendliness. But of course, a game of this scale needs to generate revenue to stay alive, so what do you think the catch will be? Here are a few possibilities I can think of. Terrible free pull income. That's definitely something that we mentioned. They could definitely reduce the amount of currency we get in game. Dupes are ridiculously strong. That's another thing in Arknight's Enfield. They tell you, you don't need dupes. Dupes are unnecessary because they're weak. They provide you no real benefit. So dupes could be ridiculously strong, which could mean that you need dupes to actually accomplish anything in game. Release even more characters, maybe 4 limited SSRs in a single patch. I don't think any company would be stupid enough to ruin their game like that. That's a whole lot of greed. Is a lot of greed. Introduce hyper limited banners with its own 50-50 rate later on when the honeymoon period is over for half. I mean, that is true. They could do that. They could do that. They could introduce 50-50 into the game after they've established a player base. Definitely. Will they? Probably not, but it's plausible. Right? They could definitely monetize via skins. They could, yeah. They can be this stupid because people are stupid. I mean, I guess true. Pity doesn't carry over, so if you fail to pull an SSR, you're back at 0 on the next banner. Yeah, so that is another thing that I mentioned. The guarantee might not transfer over, so if you make it to like 87 out of 90, you're reset to 0 when the banner ends. I'm not sure if Tower of Fantasy does that or not. I guess Tower of Fantasy would be the biggest indicator as to whether that may or may not be the case. Selling even more cosmetics for characters, vehicles, houses, etc. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have no problem whatsoever with gacha games implementing cosmetic items at any price they want. Any price they want, rather. As an example, people think Nikkei's gacha skins, which cost like $50, $60, are egregiously priced. Are they? Yes. They're fucking scam. I've purchased a couple of them, but goddamn, are they freaking expensive? Should they be cheaper? Yeah. But at the same time, they don't provide you any benefit, statistical boost, or really anything other than an aesthetic change. So they can charge $100 and I wouldn't care. Wuwa charges like, what, $20, $30, $40 for their outfits. That's fine. They could charge $500. I wouldn't care. It's a skin that doesn't make someone more powerful. It's just purely cosmetic. As long as they keep things cosmetic, they can introduce as many character outfits, vehicle outfits, or house extensions as they want at whatever price they want, and I am cool with that. It doesn't bother me. There's just no way NT does worse in Tower of Fantasy unless the community completely closes off their minds towards Auto Studios. I think you're in the same chance and just shitting on it based on Tower Expand. No, Neverness won't do worse in Tower of Fantasy. No, definitely not. I think the devs have learned from their mistakes with Tower of Fantasy at launch, and I think they're going to do a lot better this time. Do I think they'll be like Woo-Wah levels, like reach Woo-Wah levels? No, but at the same time, I also don't think Azure Premier will reach Woo-Wah levels. I don't think Ananta will reach Woo-Wah levels. Not because they're going to be bad games necessarily, but because every new game of its kind that releases does worse than the previous one because they continue to eat up more of the already very limited total player base. There will be plenty of people that play these games, but I mean, you have to be better than what's currently available. So, feels much more mainstream. Does feel like the devs have learned their lessons. I hope so. Yeah, no, I'm fully on board with them and I fully support it. Let's see the preview special live stream. Let's go. Let's take a look. Pre-download starts July 2nd. Test begins July 3rd. Test ends July 16th. Last 2 weeks. New areas. We went over that in the stream. I'm kind of disappointed that we're only getting another half of the region, but I mean, I'm happy just exploring new stuff either way. I think the areas look incredibly detailed, very good. I think the inclusion of snow was great. I didn't like the effect present necessarily. I would have preferred had there been actual footprints in the snow rather than just a single trail line. I thought that was kind of weird. But I mean, that's just a small little nitpick here. 5 new houses to teleport to, new features, vehicle requisition. We saw that in the trailer. You could, or the live stream rather, you could steal people's cars, NPC's cars. That was so cool. There's a wanted system. That is awesome. We got to actually see that in action. The cops chase you. The cops were brain dead. They walked backwards while trying to shoot you into a wall, which was, I mean, they need to work on the AI a little bit. The online racing is going to be so sick, but the lag is going to be horrible. The owner's selection mode, I don't know. I saw that and I was weirded out by it. Delivery commissions, those are kind of cool. The anomaly furniture products, sure. New episodes for characters. Some of the characters look so good, by the way, chat. Really, really good. Some of them don't. Like the white-haired guy, the new character that looks like Jingliu or whatever his name was from Honkai Star Rail. The line in the snow felt so cheap. Yeah, it did. But they can fix that, right? You know how they can fix that? By just listening. People say, you know, put footprints. They should hopefully put footprints and problem solved. NT gonna be best gacha? Hey, there is a lot of great things that has going for it based off of the most recent stream. As we went over just a few minutes ago, the gacha, of course, being one of the, I think, standout features. I think, you know, the gacha for Archetypes Enfield and for Neverness are going to be, or I think Neverness and Archetypes Enfield are going to pioneer the whole guarantee at a reduced rate rather than the 50-50 gacha system. System optimizations, environment improvements. The environments look so good, by the way, Chad. Looking at the improvements that were made, phenomenal. Like even in the new areas, the lighting for the new areas and the during the sunset and everything, they look so good. The character updates, I think the male looks like an emo edgelord male rover. I don't like him. The female here looks so much better. She's probably the second best, maybe tie for like second or third best gacha protagonist. I think female rover first, but that's just because, you know, she shows a lot and she looks really cool. And then second place would either be this person or the Trailblazer from Honkai Star Rail. Female looks really freaking good though. I don't know what they need to do to the male to make him look better. Just, I don't like the male at all. Cities were good. I know, right? His jacket's a problem. It might be, yeah. His jacket does look very weird. Yeah, main character has long legs too. That might be, yeah, it could be, maybe he's too skinny, I'm not sure. Female main character is so cute, she really is, yeah. She's, her improvement has been extraordinary. So there's the Raiden Shogun character. She looks so good. Genuinely looks so freaking good. I love this character model. The girl over to the right, I do not like. The chick with the hat, she looks really weird. This person, I'm not sold on. This person, Blackbird, that is an 11 out of 10. The chick to the right, Blackbird, easily the coolest looking character in NTE, easily. They should make the male main character more buff. I would love for that to be the case, yeah. Not only is the gacha for Neverness good from what we've seen so far, but they should also introduce a new main character body archetype. There you go. The only character I'm not fond of though is her, the chick up the top right, G1. That's the only character. Right, the visual changes to the characters, the new character visuals. I noted this in the original react I did to or for the environment and the characters. They look very the changes are very subtle, very small. When I compared this to the changes that were made in Tower of Fantasy, when Tower of Fantasy underwent a graphical overhaul specifically for characters, like there's a significant departure from what happened there. But like essentially the before and after for this is that they added bloom and they added a few extra strands of hair. So that's not impressive. Some of the new characters very impressive, but the before looks better. You prefer this one? Hey, not everyone is gonna like the before or the after, as if you change graphics from low to medium at best. Again, I will stress, I do not like the OG character designs really. These are vastly inferior to the new characters that we saw. So that might be an issue, one of the issues. Combat system enhancement, optimized control. Glad to hear that. Optimized character animations. I'm glad to hear that too, because animations were one issue I had with the game. Optimized monster attack detection. I guess we'll have to see that in practice. Optimized camera logic and scheduling adjustment. I mean, even Wuwa for the longest time had issues with the cameras. Added critical dodge counterattack. Each character has been designed with unique actions, while dodge feedback has been optimized. Dodging was really bad in the beta. I know a lot of content creators I know all mentioned the dodge needed to be reworked, so it's good they're actually listening and doing that. Added brand new mechanism parry attack. That's good. Add more depth to your combat. The combat is one issue I had, one of like 3 issues only I had with the beta, and adding more depth to it, more diversity in terms of like combat features, a great change, great addition. Parry attack devs listen, dude, hell yeah. We don't know the changes we made, but it's there. They took notes from Wuwa with the parry. Hey, it doesn't matter where you take inspiration from, right? As long as you make it your own. At the end of the day, all that's important is taking something and then making it your own. Lots of games have done that. Genshin did that with Breath of the Wild. Wuwa did that with Genshin. You know, Tower Fantasy did that with Genshin. They failed with it, making it their own. But driving system update, cool. Cool. Shop management optimization. Okay, cool. Character acquisition. We went over the gacha thoroughly, extensively for like 8 minutes. So we really don't need to discuss that any further. Mobile optimizations. Mobile recording may cause color and clarity loss. I mean, the mobile version is a significant decrease in terms of quality, but at the same time, like that makes sense because mobile games are never gonna look as good as they do on PC. Totally fine. Live stream surprise, music festival. Wait, was that it? As long as you copied the homework off the smart kit? Yeah. You like their style and parry? Okay, more, here we go. Sweet, we got 2 more slides to go through. Added more NPC behaviors, such as phone calls, take each other from rain, conversations. This is great. More character. So one thing that people, like there are plenty of Genshin players that hate Wuwa, right? There are at least 2 out of the 3 active Tower of Fantasy players that hate Wuwa, but one thing I think a lot of people can admit, regardless of whether or not you like or dislike it, is that Wuthering Waves NPCs are much more diverse and dynamic than any other gacha game out there right now. They do more, they interact more, they engage more. This right here is exactly what NTE needs to do better and to be better than a lot of their competition. More diverse NPC behaviors. Added more interactable small animals. That's good. I know people complained about not being able to pet all the cute animals. Added more tram and bus routes. That's really cool. Added map and open world route navigation feat. Okay. Optimized map and icon display effects. Added more selectable weather options. Optimized shortcut key function. Okay, cool. Let's get to see. Character visual enhancement. Character hair highlight effects optimization. Okay. Character eyebrow animation optimization. Okay. Character material optimization. Outline lighting optimization. Self shadow optimization. Lighting optimizations. Rendering supports. Lumen global illumination. Point light source. attenuation optimization. I don't know what that means. Skin rendering added subsurface scattering technology. That is really cool to see. Okay, so honestly, there were a lot of changes made to the characters. They're just not really very noticeable. But I mean, you know, that's perfectly fine. Maybe we just can't really notice it before and after, but it's more noticeable on, you know, new characters. Character combat updates. I think this is probably the most important for me, because in the original video I did where I discussed everything over the test period, my main concern, more than animations, more than character details, were that the combat lacked impact. That was my issue. My biggest concern was that if your game isn't fun and the combat isn't good, nobody's gonna enjoy it. So let's see the combat character combat updates. Added parry attack. Fantastic. Great addition. Added critical dodge and counter attack. Fantastic. Great addition. These two options right here, these two options are enough to raise it from a B- to an A, I think, if they're handled well. I have to actually, you know, get a good feel for it first. Remade female protagonist model, updating her skills. Great. I thought the female protagonist before with the long white hair looked terrible. Optimize entry attacks, effects, cool. Optimize character switch entry effects, that's cool too. Optimize interruption and interrupt buffers. Optimize combat camera adaptability, that's good to see. Adjusted Esper cycle effects, cool. Optimized these characters' combat animations, great, because the combat animations were an issue that I had with the game. Optimize arc display effects and added more controllable characters. I mean, cool. No, as we noted in the trailer, there were several new characters all looked really freaking good. And then, you know, you have the white butterfly man who looks like a 4-star character. Looked really bad. But then we only saw like, what, 2 characters, including the little furry guy? Open world combat experiences. Wuwa looks so beautiful even on mobile. It does. Wuwa is one of the rare games that look absolutely phenomenal regardless of platform. Okay, Blood on the Cursed Blade, Title Ascension, other monster-infested area atmosphere optimizations, treasure chest effects iteration, Wandering Puppet gameplay. What are these? New elite monsters and gameplay optimizations, entrances. These are all kind of just, these are pointless to read through. Vehicle updates, custom license plate. Yeah, you know what I'm having. Having a license plate. FL4 CC1D. Yep. B00B5, baby. Added more car models. Fantastic. I know Oofy's gonna like that. Optimized vehicle driving feel. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Although, admittedly, I think the driving needs a major rework because it did not look good. Optimized drift effects, cool, glad to see that. Added right side boarding function. Oh, so you can enter from the left or the right of the vehicle, that's really cool. Added vehicle tire puncture. Wait, so there can be an NPC driving a car out in the street? You can run over to it and stab the tire, puncture the tire, and then have the tire the car spin rapidly out of control and crash? Oh shit! Okay, get creative. Optimize weather effects on vehicle performance. That could be really cool. The driving doesn't look good for now. Yeah, I think they'll get it right with time. Hey, they got plenty of time. They got plenty of time to get shit right. Totally fine. But again, if we sit here and we go, no, it all looks great, good job, then nothing will improve. So you need to make sure you're critical in what you say, and you give feedback where applicable. The driving is definitely one of the areas that needs extensive reworking. The Witch's House. So Blackbeard. Okay, cool. Introducing Blackbeard to the game. Nice. Optimized her house. Optimized her house scene. I don't know why we need an entire area dedicated just to her. But okay, sure. What are people saying? That's a lot. Hopefully they deliver on their word. I hope so too. Great live stream. PC optimization is literally just an ad for the RTX 50 series. What they need to add is when raining out my character to carry an umbrella. Same here. Wait, that was all? That was added 15 hours ago and there are 8 comments? Really? I would have thought the comment section here would have been filled with compliments, because honestly, a lot of that is really good. A lot of those improvements are really good. Overall, like, that seems really good. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. stay flaccid.